Once upon a time, in a temple on the outskirts of a town, lived a wise sage named Deva Sharma. He was renowned far and wide, and people from all over would visit him, offering gifts, food, money, and fine garments in exchange for his blessings. Over time, Deva Sharma sold the gifts he didn't need and became quite wealthy. However, he had a peculiar trait. He trusted no one. Absolutely no one. He kept all his money in a sturdy bag that he carried under his arm at all times. He never let it out of his sight, not even for a moment. One day, a clever swindler named Ashen came to the town. He noticed the sage and how protectively he clutched his bag. Ashen was immediately certain that the bag must contain a great treasure. A plan began to form in his mind. He had to get that bag, but how? The temple walls were too high to climb, and the gates were securely locked at night. Direct theft was out of the question. I can't break in, he thought, but perhaps I can talk my way in. I'll charm him with sweet, reverent words and convince him to take me as his disciple. He reasoned that if he could stay close to the sage, he would eventually win his trust. And the moment the sage let his guard down, Ashen would seize the opportunity, grab the treasure, and disappear forever. With his plan set, Ashen approached the holy man, his face a perfect mask of reverence. Om Namah Shivaya, he chanted, bowing low and falling at the sage's feet. Oh, Guruji, he pleaded, my soul is weary of this world. I am lost. Please guide me to the true path of life. I seek only peace and enlightenment. The sage, Deva Sharma, looked at the young man with kindness. My son, he replied gently, you are blessed. It is a rare thing for someone so young to turn away from worldly desires and seek peace. I will certainly guide you. This was the opening Ashen had been waiting for. He immediately touched the sage's feet again in a show of gratitude. Oh, Guruji, please accept me as your disciple. I will serve you faithfully. I will do anything you ask. The sage agreed, but he had one condition. A holy man like me must spend his nights in solitary meditation. It is essential for my spiritual practice. Therefore, you cannot enter the temple after dark. You will sleep in the small hut by the main gate. I shall willingly obey your every wish. Ashen replied, his heart leaping with joy. He had successfully infiltrated the sage's life. That evening, Deva Sharma performed the necessary rituals and formally accepted Ashen as his disciple. From that day on, Ashen played the part of the perfect student. He was obedient, attentive, and tireless. He massaged the sage's tired feet, washed them after his long walks, assisted in all the daily rituals, and kept the entire temple spotless. Deva Sharma was pleased with his new disciple's devotion. Yet, despite Ashen's best efforts, the sage never, ever let go of his money bag. He never left it unattended, not even when Ashen was right there. Days turned into weeks, and weeks into months. Ashen's frustration grew with each passing day. He still doesn't trust me, he muttered to himself one evening. He never leaves the bag. How can I get it? Dark thoughts began to creep into his mind. Maybe I could poison his food, or use a knife while he sleeps. That's the only way I'll ever get my hands on that money. Just as he was spiraling into these grim thoughts, a young boy arrived at the temple. He was the son of one of the sage's devoted followers. The boy bowed respectfully and said, Oh, Guruji, my father sent me to personally invite you to our home. We are holding a sacred thread ceremony, and your presence would bless the occasion. Please honor us by attending. The sage graciously accepted the invitation. A short while later, he set off for the town with his loyal disciple Ashen trailing behind him. Their journey took them along a winding path that led to a river. As they neared the riverbank, the sage decided he needed to relieve himself. He carefully took off his outer robe, folded it neatly, and placed his precious money bag securely inside the folds. He turned to Ashen and said, My child, please look after my robe. I will return shortly. This was it. The moment Ashen had been dreaming of for months. His heart pounded in his chest. As soon as Deva Sharma disappeared behind a thicket of bushes, Ashen snatched the robe. He didn't hesitate for a second. With the heavy bag of money in his grasp, he turned and ran as fast as his legs could carry him back towards the town, leaving the empty robe on the ground. When the sage returned a few minutes later, he found his disciple was gone. A feeling of dread washed over him. He saw his robe lying on the dusty path. He rushed to it, his hands trembling as he peered inside. The bag, his life's savings, was gone. In that instant, he knew exactly what had happened. All the sweet words, the devoted service, it had all been a lie. "You rascal!" the sage shouted into the empty air. "You have robbed me. Where are you?" Blinded by fury and despair, the sage started following Ashen's footprints in the dust. The trail led him all the way to the bustling town, but there, the tracks disappeared into the crowd. He knew it was hopeless. He would never find the swindler. Defeated and empty-handed, he spent a lonely night in the town before returning to his temple the next morning, a much poorer and a much wiser man. And so, the wise have always said, be wary of those whose words are too sweet, for a swindler's flattery is often the disguise for their deceit. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tales of wisdom.